so happy, my head so nappy, had an
There you go.
Somebody actually headed it away.
It's full time, guys. It's full time. 3-2.
Well done, Martinelli.
It's full time.
Martinelli gets back and he robs. Is it Kulusevski in the box and clears it for a throw? And that is it. Happy days.
Oh. Tight one. A little bit too tight to mention, but you know.
Yeah, but guess what?
Yes.
We caused our own problems.
Yeah, 100%, Mark. We caused our own downfall in that game. 3-0 and cruising. Keeper makes one of the worst errors I've ever seen any keeper make.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
And the penalty from Declan Rice is it's unfortunate, but in that situation, composure, have a little look around before you clear the ball.
You know what? I don't really wrong Declan because he's gone to clear it. It's one of those that could happen. So I don't really wrong him for that. But it's the fact that we're so in control and then we go and make such a fundamental error to give them a leg up. They're at home with all their crowd behind them and we go and do foolishness like chipping the ball. Just clear the ball.
Yeah, that pass that he was trying to make didn't need to do that. Just thunder that ball down the field. Clear your lines, reset, go again. We was never under any pressure until that moment. And then Declan Rice unfortunately gives away a penalty. And in that situation, he could have just headed that ball down and gone on a run.
The only pleasing thing, the only silver lining I'm taking out of it is that the 2 goals they've scored, we've gifted them. They were from our downfall. They didn't carve us open and score the 2 goals.
That's it.
But what you got to
having said that, Mark.
They're all run over to the Arsenal fans now to have a little celebrate.
We have been the sort of this is their home ground. You expect them to dominate in certain areas.
Of course
Obviously,
you do.
when you look at the half-time statistics, they had 78% possession, and obviously we had to expect a reaction, and the reaction they came out with it.
Back in 2, guys.
We just needed to be a little bit more in control of that.
But you know what? A victory at White Hart Lane on the way to, this is where they expected us to fall. This is where they expected, and you got to, when you look at it as well, Tony, we've battered Chelsea.
Yeah.
We thought it was going to be a difficult game. We've dealt with with these mugs today. Don't underestimate how huge that is, because I think Tottenham still have a lot to say, because I think they're going to give Man City a tough game. I think Villa's going to give them a tough game.
Yeah, 100%.
Foregone conclusion, and I think our tails are up that much, and I think we're a different side from last season. We're such a different side from last season. It's really, really positive, but we've got to. I think what they've done this year is they've taken one game at a time. They've looked at the Tottenham game, right? Chalk that one off. They look at the next game, right? We chalk that one off. Instead of looking ahead of, we've got such and such to play, and it could get sticky. But fair play. I'll take the 3-2 all day long. All day long.
And I'm back in the room.
I'm just gathering my statistics, boys. So I'll be with you shortly.
Yeah, there's no way we should have let them back in that game, man. That we should have run out 3-0 winners there. They didn't have an hope.
No.
They didn't have an hope. So we've tied the record for most goals from corners this season with 3 games to go.
We'll get more as well.
It's funny because it was a good few games until we scored from a corner, 5 or 6, and we 2 today. So over to City now, and you just got to hope that Forest can nick a draw or even a victory.
I'm telling you now, Forest ain't nicking no draw.
Well, listen, we like to keep hope for a little while.
This game, I'm not really supposed to. It's the Villa game and the Spurs game. Now, you look at how Brighton played against Man City the other day. That third goal was an absolute joke. Where they flipping tried to play out like they're flipping Barcelona and got robbed. It's like they didn't want to lay a glove on them. Well, I don't know. It's like they wanted to try and look pretty. Ended up really, really bad for them.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see Brighton getting a result anyway because I think they've been woeful this season.
Bad.
I'll be surprised if that De Zerbi's still there.
They've been bad.
But hey, listen. City have still got to go and play Spurs. We've cleared this hurdle now.
Where's City playing Spurs?
Last game of the season, isn't it?
Where at?
No, last but one at Tottenham.
Last but one at Tottenham. There you go.
I don't fancy City. I'm telling you, I'm going on record.
It's in the midweek as well between the last game and it's a Tuesday night game basically.
I don't fancy City. And Spurs have got it all to fight for still because
they're looking to get top 4, ain't they?
Yeah, well, they're 7 points off of Villa with 2 games in hand.
Yeah,
so that's points they can't afford to drop if they want to get in that top 4.
City have got 2 huge finals to play because they've got Villa and Tottenham to play, who are both got aspirations of top 4.
Haven't they got Wolves as well?
They've got Wolves as well.
Wolves is easy though.
Yeah,
well,
Wolves,
that's what you said. They beat them at the beginning of the season, Tone. That Korean guy.
They're a totally different team now. They're a totally different team.
Yeah, but they're starting to get players. They're starting to get players back, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're starting to get players back. So
at the start of the season, you'd have tipped them for Europe, but now they look like a team that's just about hanging on to a survival.
People don't forget they had something like 19 injuries or something like that. Something ridiculous. They just about had 11 outfield players, but it's like that Hee-chan, whatever his name is, the Korean guy. As Pep called him, the Korean guy. He scored the winner, didn't he, against them earlier on in the season?
So look at that statistic. Arsenal have not lost a Premier League game against a big 6 in an inverted commas team this season.
With United still to play.
Oh, that could be
welcome to the room, Stan. I'm just gonna put up some stats. Here we go. Number 1, end of game statistics. As you can see, 2 shots, 2 goals for Spurs, 3 for Arsenal. Spurs XG was higher at 2.37. They had 14 shots against 9, 2 on target. We actually had more shots on target than they did. Touches in the box, 36 against 29. Not a huge disparity there. But where you can see a disparity was that possession in the game. So Spurs have actually lost their possession in the second half because at the end of the first half they were as high as 78%. Obviously, they still had the majority of possession in the second half. Took corners, 8 against 6, and then fouls committed. They had 12. We had 16. Anyone want to talk to me about statistics there that they've seen? Anything interesting?
To be honest with you, mate, I ain't one for statistics. All I care about is what's in the top left-hand corner of the screen when the whistle blows. You know, you can have all the possession in the world, and we've seen it in Arsenal games before, where we've had all the possession and ended up losing or drawing a game. So it's all about what you do with it, and if you haven't got it, but you make the most of what you got, then that's all that counts.
So Gary is like a dinosaur. So I'm going to try to bring us up to date. And more contemporary.
I'll just tell it as it is, Ben. You know,
stats are important because stats are not just only for this game. Stats give you evidence and information to inform your view going forward about how you are, how you're doing, how you're playing.
Yeah, but in hold on, Stan. In saying that, but so in going forward, all you say to the keeper is don't make such stupid mistakes again, right? And Declan Rice, have a little scan before you go to whack the lever off the ball. That's it.
I don't blame Rice, actually, even though I think something I think about in the box, I got to head the ball versus kick the ball, right? I don't really blame Rice per se. He just want to get rid of the ball.
Yeah. Panic set in.
Right? The ball is dropping, so you got to make sure he's meeting his highest point. So I can understand why people may be concerned about him. What Raya did was interesting. He went to pass the ball and realized, I can't get it there. And he hesitated. If you just watch the entire replay again, he hesitated, and that killed him.
But in his hesitation, Stan, he actually still kicked the ball.
Yeah, well, he's in motion to kick and realized, this is not going to work. And then went ahead anyway. To me, you go deep and you're trying to find Saka or the other winger. You don't play the ball into party that close when they're trying to press you. And Romero has been a pain all game. The two center halves actually have been a pain. They've been Spurs' best offensive players. If you don't realize, Romero had 2 headers in the first half. He scored. Van der Ven scored, but it was barely just. Spurs didn't deserve the outcome, to be honest. If you just think about the entirety of the game, and we're glad we won, but it was harsh on Spurs. And the commentators here have been talking about the first half non-penalty. When Trossard inadvertently tripped Kulusevski, the view is that should be given because it's given. It's not about whether it's deliberate or not. It's whether it's occurred. Like Rice didn't mean to kick Ben Davies, right? But he made a mistake. And Ben Davies actually lost the ball, still got kicked, and he got a penalty. So regardless of what transpired, we won, and that's the most important thing.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. A couple more stats for you here. Bukayo Saka is the first Englishman to score 15-plus goals in a Premier League season for Arsenal since Ian Wright in 1996.
That's a shocking stat.
That's amazing. I mean, that's just... How is that being allowed to happen?
Because England is not producing enough forwards that play for Arsenal. Is that it?
Wow.
Quality forward that plays for Arsenal to be able to do so.
And he's not even a striker.
Nah, as I said before, his stats are fantastic. Exceptional, actually.
But somebody doesn't have a right foot.
Go ahead. He doesn't have he doesn't. Imagine if he had a right foot, Gary. He'd be one of the top scorers in the Premier League. Now
he's only 5 goals off, and 20 is the leading scorer in the Premier League.
Yes, true.
Ollie Watkins have 20, right? And so does
Watkins, Haaland, and what's his face?
And Palmer.
Palmer, 19 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, but we scored 2 set pieces today and Saka's goal on a counterattack. So it wasn't as if we took the ball and broke them down and scored. These were just they are goals, but it was a very interesting game. I'm sure Tottenham is going to feel aggrieved at the end of the day that, you know what, they didn't come out with at least a draw from the game. Or they played well, actually. They played well. But Raya has to take accountability for he brought them back in the game. They were dead, basically. They were still trying, but they were basically dead. He gave the crowd life. He gave them life, and you can't do that in a game. Because, guys, if you notice in this game, we didn't try to play out from the back a ton like we normally do, We didn't start the game. We didn't start the offense all the way from Raya playing those 1-2 in the boxes. We mixed it up. Spurs was doing it more than we were. So it's unfortunate that we ended up the way we did, actually. I made me uncomfortable again, Tony. I was comfortable, and get very uncomfortable.
So you ran the full gamut of emotions today. It's fair to say, Stan.
Yeah, very
much.
So.
Well, welcome to the chat, Nabil. Nabil is in his car, so I'm gonna, if I may, allow Nabil to say his piece so that he doesn't get done for some kind of driving offense. Go on, Nabil.
I had to join you boys, man. I was just sitting there thinking about the result of the game and so forth, and I could just imagine you lot going in, mate. I tell you what, real quick, Tone, and thanks for letting me have a shot, mate. I tell you what, that's the first game we've ever won that I've been so livid about. I've never been so angry at a win. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way. I'm like, we've won. We've won. And I'm like, nah, man. I don't want to swear, but mate, I'll tell you what. I joined the game at 2.5 minutes in. I was a bit late. And the first thing I saw was Party sloppy on the ball, getting caught in possession. Really slow. I was like, what are you doing? And then Gary Neville started to chime in. I thought, oh, mate, I don't want to listen to Gary Neville today. Not in this game. I don't want to listen to him. He started talking about we need Jorginho in there. And I'm like, I've seen Jorginho do that a couple of times. Yeah. But anyway, then I started to notice Gabby again, normal, very nervy, not comfortable passing out. And then I started to take a close look. I said, hang on a second. It looks like Tottenham have got our card when it comes to passing out. They've got our card marked when it comes to passing out, and the team know it. Tomiyasu, nervy. Gabby, nervy. You know, everybody seemed a bit nervy passing out. And then I've said, all right, we need someone to stand up and be counted. Odegaard comes in, gives the ball away. I'm like, what's he doing? He gives it away again. I'm like, he must have done it like 3 times in a row. But then I started to watch the game, and I said to myself, do you know what? Tottenham got our card marked. They know how we pass out, and they've got a strategy for it, and we know it, and it's making us very nervous. We ain't got an answer for it, but we have an edge in quality. When it came to quality, Partey played a pass over the top. Odegaard bent his run, just a bit offside, but the way he trapped it, I said, that is an example of the quality that we possess over them. And then before you know it, we're 3-0 up, cruising. 3-0 up and cruising, and they're playing, I wouldn't say they're playing better than us, but when we are in possession in our own half, we look awful. Awful. I'm a bag of nerves myself. And then David Raya. I mean, he knew what the play was. He saw that they had our card marked, so he was whacking it long as a man who was brought in to play it out short or whatever, pass it out from the back. He starts knocking it long, and I'm like, you know what? Keep doing that because they're on us. And then just the moment he decides to start playing it out from the back, he gives them a chance. I'm like, I can't watch this. This is going to do my head in. I've got to go to East London, so I jump in the car. By the time I get in the car, they scored again. I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't listen. I couldn't listen. But I tell you what, as you can see now, I'm over the moon because it's 3 points. But it wasn't like they played really well. It's like in the opposition half, I thought we was brilliant. I thought we was so, the set pieces, I thought it was clinical. Saka's peaks. The pass from Havertz to find Saka was just picture perfect because I would have just played it straight to Trossard, straight down the line. He stopped, he checked, he swings it out, switches the play, finds Saka, brilliant. But then when we have the ball in our own half, we've started to play awful. So fair play, a good result at the end of the day. 3 points is 3 points, but mate, it's one of those games where I could just so go on and just rant and cuss. But I won't. I don't know if anybody else saw it the same way though.
Nice one, Neville. Nice one.
Yeah.
All right, we'll let. Who else wants to jump in there then? Because I'm going to try to.
Nabs.
Yeah.
I see it exactly the same as you just said it. I couldn't have said it. I couldn't have said it any different. I couldn't have said it any different myself. Do you know
Bring your camera up. Bring your camera up.
Sorry, hold on. All on there. I'm outside.
There you go.
I couldn't have said it any different myself. It's like these guys were nervous. Johnny's in their own half. You know what I mean? And that's where we normally put teams to the sword. Suck them in, and then we bang. Today I was like, bro, just get the ball away from my goal. It was like, you know what? Like you said, I'm so happy. I'm so. You know, I've even stopped going for people's fans now. I'm just leaving them alone. I let them come to me because you know what? Football got this way of kicking you in the teeth. You know when you start chirping up. Next thing he's like come back to hard. And I'm not. You know what I mean? There's one of my friends, a Liverpool fan. He's been on me hard. Noticeably, he's disappeared over the last couple of few days. Disappeared. Can't hear nothing from him, which is good. But I'm not even going to stoke him. I'm going to leave him. I want to wait till the end of the season when we've got that trophy. Oh my God. But today, we made it harder than we should have done. We made it harder than we should have done. But the
100%.
give thanks to 3 points.
I mean, I've heard of playing bad. I've heard of playing bad and winning, but playing bad and being 3 goals up, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It was weird, Nabil. It was weird because we didn't. The one time we really played, we scored through Saka, but the other 2 goals was just like it was just too easy. And in first gear, and you score, you're 3-0 up, and you're thinking this could be anything because we haven't even started playing yet.
Yeah.
But I'm just annoyed that we allowed them back in the game, man, because they didn't have no idea. They had no way past us. They was only going to get something from a set piece. They had nothing to threaten us. And we were so solid in that second half, knocking the ball around. And Raya just makes a silly error. And gives them a foothold. And then we quiet them down again. And then we give away a dumb penalty. What do you think with us giving away penalties against Tottenham? Every game, they get a penalty. That was the only way Harry Kane used to score, and then he used to score more goals after that, the first penalty. But they was never in the game. And I don't know. Listen, I'm happy that we got the win in the end, but we know how to make hard work of that.
So I don't exactly see. So I'm gonna be the contrarian in the room a little bit here. I don't think we're giving Spurs enough credit about the vigorousness of their press. Press makes people who like to press don't like to get pressed. Press makes you uncomfortable. We got uncomfortable being pressed today. Look at it. You know who won the ball that Ray kicked out? Romario. He's the centre half. Right? Look how high up the field he was to win that ball.
Because they put him up front, Stan.
No. But he was pressed. He had 3 chances today. So they were using and they were comfortable with Van der Ven being able to catch us on the counter. Because he's by far the quickest player on the field, wasn't he? As he showed against Martinelli, he showed against Havertz. So their press was really up on us, and therefore made it challenging for us. I'm not sure what's happening to my feed. Made it challenging for us after to get out. We had the 3 best midfielders on the field. Think of the 6 midfielders, we had the 3 best midfielders, and yet we struggled to dominate in that part of the park. And Trossard wasn't helping us today. Trossard just had a really bad game. So I do think Spurs deserve some credit, even though they were at home, for the way the game went. Because apart from playing City, I haven't seen us in any game struggle to have good possession. Actually, most games we have good possession today we didn't because we were being pressed. And then what we normally do after a while when we struggle with press, we drop off into the middle of our half because we're comfortable playing that deep. We're narrowing the field between the 18 and the middle of our half. And we're saying, you can get behind us. Now you can penetrate the line, so we're comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, that's very true. I totally agree with you, Stan, on that one. It's one of those situations that, you know, you go 3-0 up and then you end up hanging on for the 3 points. But we did that. Unusually, you know, we've had so many clean sheets this calendar year. The 2 games we haven't kept a clean sheet. We've conceded 2 goals in each. So yeah, there's something to be said.
One thing, Tony, which is we're not giving enough credit to our 4 defenders. Now, Partey and Rice and others protect them, but we had 4 exceptional defenders on the field. You think about how dangerous their wingers are. Johnson's been playing well. Son, we know is very, very good when he went out wide. And yet our defenders kept their wingers at bay and kept them in the pocket away when they got deep. So, you know, Tommy also coming in, shore up the left side of the defense because we know Zinchenko can't defend himself. And I think that helped a lot today. Those defenders help a lot to help solidify the defense. Go ahead, Tony.
So, guys, I'm going to ask you all a question, if I may, to go around the house. The question is simple as this. Who was your man of the match? Who
Kai
was
Havertz.
your man of the match, Gary, is Kai Havertz.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I'm going to say David Raya.
Wow.
Kai Havertz for me.
Because he brought Spurs back in the game. He has to be the man of the match. He created a mayhem for us.
Oh my God!
Come on, son. You must have known that he was being tongue in cheek there. Man.
Who is this guy on?
No, it's Havertz. I think
Nabil,
Havertz did really well.
Nabil, can you tell us who your man of the match? Oh, he's gone. Emerson, who's your man of the match?
It was
Emerson's
David
asleep, isn't
Raya up to that mistake, but I gave it to Kai Havertz due to that. Due to that pass that he gave to Saka for the second goal.
Okay, that leaves Mark. Who you got, Mark?
I'm going for Havertz.
Havertz.
Clean sweep. If Tony gives it to Havertz.
So yeah, I'm going to have to go with that because I thought his general play in all aspects of the field, from defending, transition, scoring a goal, is just getting better and better each game. He's becoming the player that we all never saw at the beginning of the season. He's almost like one of the first names on the team sheet. And if anyone had said to me that he would be that guy before Christmas, I'd have gone, "You're having a laugh."
Yeah, I think there's a lot of us with the same time. I mean, listen, we all saw different things. You know, Apollo sees the duels that he wins. I see the running off the ball, which creates space. And remember the amount of times he's never actually had the ball played to him when he's made the runs. But then what he kind of done after sort of Dubai, he kind of knitted it all together, right? So he was involved in winning the duels. He started scoring goals. He was holding the ball up well. He was creating assists. So everything that he was doing earlier on in the season, barring scoring goals, he took to another level, but then added the goals to it as well, which has made him, like you say, pretty much undroppable and one of the first names on the team sheet. That's how I view it anyway.
No, he played really well today. He was winning headers too, but he makes defenses uncomfortable with his height and to be able to deflect the ball on, which we don't necessarily have with Jesus actually. So I do think he brings a lot to the table. I must admit, I've said it before, I'm not the biggest Havertz fan. He's doing better and better every week. So he's much more convincing every week. He started out really shaky. But as the season progressed, he's come along really well. If you think about it, from the beginning of the season to now, he's probably the one that's improved the most, actually, in his play throughout the season. Every week he seems to get better and better, which bodes well. And the question for us, actually, is we talk about lauding Havertz and how well he's doing, which is, don't we still need a number 9? That's the question. Because I don't see him as an 8. I don't see him as an effective 8.
The thing with Havertz as well, though, he's a willing runner. Do you know what I mean? He, like the lost causes as well, and he puts his body on the line. He gets his body in the way. He wins the free kick. He thinks play. And then the big thing, what he's doing, he's scoring vital goals. He's scoring vital goals. Now, this is his best goal output for God knows how long. I mean, it's just no coincidence, but like I think credit the Arsenal staff for unlocking this Havertz, because he looks a totally different player. So I've got to give him his flowers, because he's, you know what I mean, he's knitted. First season at a new club, he's done brilliant.
I think it was mentioned today that the team seemed nervous. He didn't seem nervous, actually. He played with a sense of freedom, comfortable, because he plays at one speed most of the time, you know, so he's always in that same vein. He's not going up or going down. He plays at that same tempo. And so what you get in a game like this, where you need someone to be calm, to be composed, and to be assured, he exhibited that today, which is really, really good, actually. Yeah. But I was a little bit, I was surprised how Trossard played today. The game was a little bit faster than him, and he struggled both defensively and offensively. I didn't think the midfield played that badly, but Odegaard, as was mentioned before, gave the ball away in a number of instances where you didn't expect him to, without real pressure to give the ball away, which doesn't make any sense given his quality. So
I think, don't forget, Stan, this is our 4th game in a period of time where Spurs have had about 10 or so more days to off. So I think that, you know, the tiredness and the mental fatigue and all that, it all plays a part in certain aspects of the game. And so that's why we looked a bit sloppy earlier on in the game. But then once we started playing, I thought we was decent. I thought we was all right. Spurs couldn't get near us. And then from Raya's mistake and Dek's mistake, then we kind of let them back in the game, and it was a lot more nervous than it ever should have been.
yeah, I thought Partey, apart from the first mistake he made when he turned the ball over, I thought he played well. I think Partey sees passes that our other midfielders don't really see from deep, for example. Right?
Yes.
Or his ability to dip his shoulder and get out of trouble and create space behind him. Our midfielders don't have those in their locker. So he differentiates himself by doing that, and that's what I thought we should have played against Bayern in both legs. I'm still amazed, unless he wasn't feeling well or he had some niggle, that he didn't get it running against Bayern.
Yeah, why was he on the bench then? That's what we were all saying. Why is he on the bench? If he can't come on for 5 minutes, why is he on the bench?
I mean, that pass to Odegaard should not have been offside. He should have been in on goal on that pass. I mean, we don't get that from our team going to another midfielder. We may get it to Havertz sometimes. Or his ability to play the ball right to Saka from deep with the right pace, in stride, don't have to break strides. We didn't have the outlet on the left, actually, with Trossard that we have with Saka. I thought Saka did a good job of holding the ball up today, which worked well in getting fouls, drawing fouls, slowing the game down. But I would admit I was a little bit disappointed in our ability to retain the ball for an extended period of time.
Yeah, Saka was our best player for me. He was right up for it.
Yeah.
Cool. So listen, guys. I would like to do player ratings. I haven't got the. Let me try and do that. But before I do that, I just literally, I'm a little bit of a whiz, as you may guess, with graphics and stuff. So I've put together a little something that I think you'll enjoy. So if you'll allow me 32 seconds while I play this in gratitude of our United man of the match.
Another penalty to Arsenal. It's Kai Havertz. Runs.
So,
hey, Tony, he looked fake from behind. That's cute.
A bunch of miles actually in the crowd. I saw him appear.
That's cute.
So yeah, cool. Yeah, just let's do player ratings. Gary, you know the team, so I'll let you start off. Yeah.
Yeah. So player ratings. I thought Raya had a really good game up until that mistake. He, when the balls were flying in the box, he came out, claimed most of them. There was a couple of times for the Romero header that hit the post, he was kind of in no man's land. He started to come, and then he stopped, but he never went back on his line. And had he got that on target, that would have been in. So it was a bit of a shaky performance in places from David Raya today. So I'm going to give him a 7. It would have probably been an 8 had he not made the mistake. Ben White was solid. I'm going to give him a 7.5. Gabriel and Saliba, again, I still think they're the best centre-back partnership in English football, in Europe, and if not the world. I think they are two fantastically talented centre-backs, and together I think they're just monstrous. So I'm going to give them both 8s. Tomiyasu, I thought he had a solid game. A little bit shaky start, but he grew into the game, and he makes interceptions when probably Zinchenko wouldn't. So good performance from him, 7.5. Thomas Partey started off looking, he got caught on the ball, and I thought, oh, is he going to be up for this? Is he going to have the legs? Obviously, just coming back from injury, but he grew into the game. He just makes it look so simple. A couple of balls he's played over the top. Odegaard shouldn't have been offside, and that should have been 1-0 first of all, with Havertz finishing. But yeah, good game from Thomas Partey, so I'm going to give him an 8. Declan Rice, unfortunately, made the mistake for the penalty. I think it was just a moment of panic where he's trying to just smash the ball clear. And we've seen it happen. He hasn't had a little scan to see if anyone's in his vicinity. He just wants to get that ball as far away from the goal as possible. So, but apart from that, Rice had a good, solid performance. A couple of good tackles. He makes a tackle, and then the ball may rebound to an opponent. And while he's on the floor, he makes a second tackle, and he wins both tackles. And I've never really seen a player do this before in football. And it's not the first time that Rice has done this, winning the ball and then winning again, when he hasn't even recovered from the first tackle. So a good performance from Declan Rice. I'm happy to give him an 8. Martin Odegaard, again, leads from the front, everything that a captain should do. He was kind of kicked from pillar to post today, and he didn't really have a major influence on the game as we've seen him, but he still does more than enough. So I'm happy to give Martin Odegaard an 8 as well. Bukayo Saka, I thought had a really good game. I thought Ben Davies should have actually been sent off for 2 yellow cards. He committed a foul, which should have been the first yellow card, and then he got the yellow card literally a minute after. Constant forward in their side, scored a really good goal. I mean, the pass from Havertz to set him free, the crossfield ball, and the way he takes it in his stride while he's still running, that's just class. So I'm going to give Bukayo Saka a 9 today. I thought he was absolutely excellent, and he obviously took the armband when Martin Odegaard was taken off. So well done, Bukayo Saka. Leandro Trossard, disappointing game. Probably Arsenal's worst player of the first 11. That's the first. Well, didn't make any subs, did he? So yeah, probably Arsenal's worst player on the pitch today, but still done more than enough. I thought wasn't the threat going forward that we had hoped for, but he done his bit defensively. Getting back, making tackles, clearing balls, had some good possession in his own half. So I'll give him a 7, and that just leaves my man of the match, Kai Havertz. Held the ball up. He won flick-ons. He got back. He made tackles. He defended in his own box. He scores a goal. Just an outrageously powerful performance from him, I thought. He didn't give any of the Spurs defenders any rest. Was a constant pest. What more could you ask for? So I'm going to give him a 9.5 and my man of the match. And Mikel Arteta, I thought he picked the right starting lineup. I didn't think he could make any subs, really, apart from he brought Kirior on late for Odegaard, but I think it was a game where, because we let them back into it and give them a bit of the ascendancy, I thought to bring a player, to bring anyone else in cold into that game, I think would have been of a disadvantage to us. So I think he got it. I think he got it bang on right today. So I'm going to give him a 9 today, Mikel Arteta.
Cool. Thank you very much. Stan, do you want to go next?
Okay. I am not as generous as Gary, as one can imagine. I'm going to say Raya gets a 5. And I would agree with Gary. He was very commanding in the box, actually. Even though I think the crosses had too much air in them from Spurs. They should be flatter, like you saw with our goals. But I thought he was commanding. But he changed the momentum of the game. We were strolling and rolling and cruising at one point at 3-0 up. And his mistake almost cost us the game, because we still won 3-2, but changed the momentum of the game. So I can't give him more than a 5. And he didn't have to make any saves, basically. I mean, it was mainly putting the ball out of the air. He didn't have to make any brilliant saves throughout the entire game. So I can't give him more than a 5, given what transpired in the second half and him giving up that goal. Honestly, I give White a 7. I thought he played well. Son wasn't damaging the game. He moved out on the left. Nor was anyone who played out there for the entire game after that. I thought he commanded his area pretty well. So I gave him a 7. Sadiq and Gabriel, the same score. I'm going to say 7.5. I'm going to say like Gary. I thought they played really, really well. And commanded the defense well. And even when we dropped deep, they were, apart from once where Son got behind the defense, and actually probably should have done better, they placed over the bar. I don't think that occurred for the rest of the game. Always get behind. Hey, Gary, can you mute? Is that Gary?
No, that's me. Sorry.
Okay. So I thought they commanded their area really well. I thought Tomiyasu did well. I mean, he had to deal with Kulusevski and Brendan Johnson, 2 very tricky players. And I thought he held his own well. It may seem like a few times he made mistakes, but you don't expect the player playing in that position, given how many attacks came through his side of the field and how good the attackers are, for him not to have some challenges in the game. And Trossard wasn't helping well as he should. Nor was Trossard doing well when he got the ball to put pressure on the right side of the field, on the left side of the field. So at least our left. So I did think Tomiyasu played well. I gave him a 7, actually. I thought Partey, as he normally does, apart from the first turnover he had where he wasn't aware as he should be where he was, and didn't realize how vigorous Spurs press was. That's what turned him over. I gave him a 7.5. I think when Partey plays and he's fit and up to speed, I think he's just our best player. And I think the couple of games he had just played showed you the quality that he had. That ball to Odegaard over the top, I'm not sure people realize that he looked away. He makes these look away pass like it's in basketball to freeze the defense and then play the ball. He does that really well. And his vision is, he has great vision to be able to see the movement of the play and getting the ball. And if Odegaard just waited half a second longer, he would have been in and goal. And even this ball that he plays out wide, you watch when he plays, he doesn't really take the easy pass a lot of times. He'll play the ball between himself and Rice or around him, but he's always looking for, do I have a more penetrative pass to make to create pressure on the defense? So I gave him a 7.5. I thought Rice played well. It's interesting, actually, which is when Rice first started the season, he was off the chart, but he's come back down to earth a little bit. Played well today, covered a lot of grounds, as Gary mentioned. He's always putting a foot in, right? He will tackle and he falls and he put a foot in to break up the play. The penalty, to me, I don't blame him, was unfortunate. Those things happen in football. The ball wasn't a high. He waited the ball come down. Sometimes to hit the ball at its highest point, at its zenith. He didn't. So just like Raya, he made my evening a little bit uncomfortable, but he's forgiven. So I gave Rice a 6.5 because I have to take away a point for the goal that he gave up, even though it wasn't a deliberate tackle that he made that caused that. I gave Odegaard a 7. I think he had a mixed game. Made some interesting passes, which is not him turn over the ball from position where he had no pressure. But he did some good things throughout the game, which warrant that score. And you always take into consideration we give these scores that we actually did win the game. And even though we didn't have a ton of possession, I think the final total was we had less than 40%. We still played well. I gave Saka a 7.5. I thought he did really well today when he got the ball, because obviously we didn't have the possession that we normally have. But I thought he took his goal brilliantly, which he normally does when he gets those opportunities. And I thought his hold-up play was good. I thought he got fouled a bit, which slowed the game down, which gives him more chance to breathe. So I think 7.5 is a good score for Saka, and I thought he played really well. I gave Trossard a 4. I just thought he was bad today. I thought defensively he was poor. In the first half, he fell twice in the box. I'm not sure what he was trying to do. Almost gave away the ball. He gave away a penalty, which they didn't get. He just didn't have a good game, defensively, offensively. So I gave him a 4, and it's sort of strange giving somebody a 4 when you won the game and you were up 3-0. I gave Havertz a 9. I thought, to me, this was his best game for Arsenal in a tough game. And the reason why is he really made any mistakes today. That ball to Saka at the far post, which the keeper made a brilliant save on, Vicario made a save on, was a brilliant ball, over the top, on point. The goal that he scored was a good goal, well taken. His hold-up play was good. His movement of the ball was good. He's always putting a shift defensively. So Apollo can take a bow because he's showing a lot of the qualities which Arteta saw, which I probably didn't see in a lot of instances, even though he wouldn't be my choice of number 9. And for Arteta, I gave Arteta an 8. Obviously, I expected the same team that he picked. So for once, he did something I expect him to do. He does what he normally does when we're under pressure defensively. He throws out a defender. I'm not sure what the defender was supposed to play because we had 4 defenders on the field. So when he threw on Kyrier, I'm not sure if he told Kyrier, are you playing left or where are you playing? I always find that interesting about him when he makes those decisions because he throws on 5 defenders. So what happens in the midfield? Because we only had Partey and Rice there. But whatever he did, it worked. And we came out with a victory, which is the most important thing. At this time of the season, where last season we were in a pole position to win the title and we were deemed to choke, and I actually believe that we did. The choking team now is Liverpool. They are, between Crystal Palace game and the game they drew yesterday, they're the ones who are choking, even though they have most of their players back. And we have been very fortunate that most of our injuries occurred early in the season, and now we have the full squad to pick from, apart from maybe Timber, who's a long-term injury, but is almost here and probably could have, if needed, be in the squad today. So we're in a good place, actually, in terms of how we're performing, in terms of where the team is, and on the running. And even though I do expect City to not lose a game for the rest of the season and probably to win all their games, we're making it difficult for them, which is most important. So kudos to Arsenal, kudos to the team, and long may it continue where I think our most difficult game, even though we shouldn't discount Bournemouth and Everton, is the Man U game. Because they're going to want to stop us, right? I mean, they've been our rival earlier in the century, haven't been so of late as much. And they're going to be at home. So expect a tough game from them. But if we play like how we've been playing, I expect us to win our next 3 games and make it difficult for City. Tony?
Excellent. Thank you very much, Stan. Emerson, are you ready to do your are you willing to do your match player ratings?
Yes, I'm ready. Right. Raya, I'll give 6.5. Well, sorry, not 6.5. I'll give him a 7. If he didn't make that mistake, I would have given him an 8. Ben White, he had a steady game. Nothing fancy. I'll give him 6.5. Tomiyasu on the other side, I'll give him a 6.5 as well. Unlucky with the header that he had, the chance that he had, but he had a steady game. Nothing fancy from him. The 2 centre-halves, Layla, I give a 7. Gabriel, I give a 7. As I said, they had nothing really hard, but except for the last, say, 10-15 minutes of the game, of which they had to try and keep those crosses away from the goal, of which Tottenham were trying to do in the last 10-15 minutes. Midfield, I give Partey 7.5. He played quite well. Rice, I give a 7. Odegaard, I give a 7 due to his trickery, but I did have enough time to get any shots away. But he tried his best, with his trickery, with his passing. On to Trossard, he was our poorest player on the pitch, as Bertram's just said, thing like that. I give him a 5. Saka, I give 7.5. Due to that, he was in and out of the game, but he took his goal very well from the pass from Havertz. Obviously, our man of the match was Havertz. I give him 9.5 due to his work rate that he put in, as you all pointed out in your various points when you done your player ratings, and as the pass that he played to Saka for the second goal was pinpoint, and as we know, Saka done the rest. For the subs, I give Martinelli a 6 because he didn't have an impact of the game and like that. And for Kivior, I give him a 6 as well because he didn't have much impact of the game. And for Arteta, he got it spot on regarding his lineup. Again, thing like that, like by playing Partey again, it's good to see that he played a full 90 minutes, I think, because that's the first 90 minutes he's played for a long while. If anyone did notice that, I'm not sure if he did or not. And as I said, for the Arsenal fans that were there, I'll give him a 7, although you couldn't hear him much because obviously my TV was turned down during the commentary, so I couldn't hear what they were singing. But obviously the Havertz song was replayed several times that I've seen now on the rerun. So that's my play ratings for the match for today.
Thank you very much. Mark, are you about? I can see your...
Tony, Havertz gave Saka 2 goals. He scored 1.
Havertz. Yeah. That's
the
right.
one he crossed from the left side in the box,
Mm-hmm.
that he could keep a save. So that was pretty close. Yeah.
That's right. So, yeah, good performance there. I will go and give my ratings now. So, I'm going to go with David Raya, I'm going to give a 6. Benny White, I'm going to give a 6. Saliba, 6. Gabriel, 6. Tomiyasu, I'm going to give a 7. I just somehow felt Tomiyasu was more involved in the play, contributed more both defensively and offensively, almost scoring a goal. Thomas Partey, I'm going to give 8.5. Because I just love Thomas Partey. And, you know, people will know if you've watched this show often enough. Bertram and I are great lovers of Thomas Partey and just salivate when he's on pomp and doing the things that only Thomas Partey is capable of doing, really, as far as I'm concerned, in the midfield. Declan Rice, I'm going to give a 7. Odegaard, I'm going to give a 7. Saka, I'm going to give a 7. Trossard, yep, easily the weak link of the team today, gets a 5. And Havertz is my man in match, gets a 9. I won't do the substitutes, but I will give Arteta a good solid 8 because he picked the winning team. You know, look, there's a lot to unpack, but I think everyone so far has unpacked most of what I would wish to say anyway. So I'm not really going to reiterate or repeat what people have said already. But I do feel there's a lot of credit to be given to this group of players who may not win the league this year. But one thing you cannot say is we bottled the league because, you know, look, since the start of the year, we'd have lost 1 game and we've drawn 1 game. We've won every other game. You know, we scored a phenomenal amount of goals again, like we did last year. We've been defensively one of the best teams in the league, if not the best team in the league. And despite giving away 2 goals today, actually giving away 2 goals, if we don't give away goals, nobody else is scoring. That's how good our defense is. We don't give away goals unless we physically give away the goal. It's not like teams are playing us a type of football and they're breaking us down. No, we're making a mistake and they're getting a goal as a result of our mistake. Now, yeah, some would say that's how most goals are scored. And yeah, you're right. That is how most goals are scored. But, you know, I feel there's a great deal of credit to be given to the people who work on our defense, those defenders, you know, whoever it is, those defenders and the manager himself have got to be given a great deal of credit. You know, 3 games left to go. It is what it is. We'll do what we can do. You know, 20 minutes gone, Nottingham Forest holding tight at 0-0. Let's hope that, you know, look, it just takes 1 result and they have to play Villa and Spurs. Anyhow, they drop the points. I'm convinced we will win out now. I am convinced we will win out. And if it's not to be, then I'm going to just turn around and say, well, you know what? It was phenomenal what they achieved this year. I thought last year was phenomenal. Yeah. But there was a definite case of things just got too much for us. And at the end of the season, we lost 2 key components of that team, which was Partey and Saliba. But this year, we made some purchases that had people going, but those purchases have ended up being exactly what we needed. We might have got Mykhailo Mudryk across the line. I actually think Mykhailo Mudryk in Arsenal would have been a totally different player. I read a statement this weekend from somebody else in the press about how players can be different players if they go to different teams. And that's guaranteed. Like Fernando Torres at Liverpool, I thought was easily one of the best strikers in the world. And then he went to Chelsea. And what happened? He just fell apart completely. So, you know, look, I've enjoyed today. also not enjoyed today, and then I've enjoyed today. So the overriding result is I am happy. I am happy we have beat the noisy neighbours in their patch, shut them up. Don't want to hear nobody saying, oh, but if this, but if this. No, you lost the game. End of. And we won. And that's all I'm happy about. So, guys, I am finished there.
Hey, Tony, at least we can control our noisy neighbors, man. You can't.
Absolutely.
Their noisy neighbors have kicked the door down. At least we are controlling ours.
Yeah. So, guys, if anyone's got anything else to say.
Sorry, I would say this actually. I've said this before, which is we are going to be good for a good while to maintain this team, right? Which is really important for us to have a sense of enthusiasm going to next season or at the end of the season. Right? We have a young team, a good team. We're only going to supplement a very good team going forward. We have made it difficult for City, who's considered the best team in the world, even though they're not in the Champions League semis. Made it difficult for them 2 years in a row. We're at the top of the league. We're at the top of the league. 2 years in a row. Really good.
I'll get it in a minute.
We need help to get over the line, but we have to be proud of the team and how they have done over the last 3 seasons, basically. The year before that, we finished 5th. We should have finished 4th when the Spurs got totally destroyed and when Holding was playing center back. So we've moved away from the Holding, not to give you a hard time Holding. And we have quality all around the team now, and we expect to supplement that quality with more quality. So it only bodes well for us going forward in terms of what the team will look like, the players we're able to attract, because players want to go to good teams who play attractive football, right? That's how you get players. We have more money in the coffers from all these Champions League and sponsorships, so it's upward and onward.
Go on, Forest.
Forest has been the best team so far, but let's see if it materializes into something productive.
Good ball, cross it.
We have to mute Gary.
Over the...
Yeah, he's watching the game. He's watching the game.
Go ahead, Bertram.
He's hoping that Forest does the impossible.
Me too.
And
Me too.
all they have to do is draw. We don't need them to beat City, We can just draw with City because our goal difference is still good.
Yeah.
We have a net 1 today, +1 going forward. So they just have to draw with City and we're good. And they started out well. Let's see if it's sustainable. But I love the way the team is being constructed and what the opportunities are going forward. We want to compete with the best teams in the world, not just in the Premier League, with the Real Madrids of the world and with the Bayerns of the world. And that's what we're building. I am still going to harp on this 24/7. Where the heck was Thomas Partey against Bayern? I'm telling you, it's a different game if Thomas plays. Different game if Thomas plays. Him playing deep, getting us behind Bayern. Bayern never played deeper. We have more possession. That didn't materialize. So I'm going to hold Arteta to that. And there should be an explanation as to why he didn't play him. Because as Tony mentioned, I am in the Thomas Partey fan club in terms of his qualities and what he does on the field, which are sometimes not even obvious. But if you're insightful when you assess football, you realize the quality to the table. So kudos to us and long may it continue.
Cool. Thank you very much. So, guys, I think unless you want to unmute yourself and say anything else, I am done for this particular episode of Arsenal versus Spurs live match day commentary.
No, Bertram covered most of what I would have said. But I'm just happy that we're competing. And listen, there's 3 games to go. Anything can happen in football, but by winning our games, we've just given ourselves a chance, and that's all you can ask for from the team. Absolutely. They haven't let anyone down this year, and they're improving year on year. And I'm sure that titles will come their way.
Cool, brilliant. All right, my friends, have a lovely evening. I'm going out for drinks and some music. I'm going to be very happy. So until the next time.
Yes, until the next time, guys. See you all later.